Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and affectionately on my left, our aging rocker, Emmett.
Yep.
And as you can see, this is episode 202. 202. And this time we are on the backdrop of a television show from the past called Barney Miller.
Yeah. Never heard of it before.
We'll talk about it. You want to start us off?
Heavenly Father, bless our food and our time together and drink and refresh cola in Jesus' name.
Amen. I'm in agreement. Okay. So as I stated, we are on the backdrop of an old television show called Barney Miller. Now, before I tell you about the synopsis of the show, let's introduce the characters. On the left of your screen, this was Detective Wojo. I think he was Polish. I can't pronounce his Polish name, but he was Polish. Now, the man on the second to the left of your screen, he was the title character. His name was Hal Linden in real life, and he is Barney Miller. He's detective. He's Captain Miller, actually. He's the captain. The actor behind him, his name was Ron Glass. He's also a detective in the series. They have a lot of detectives in the series here. And hold on a second, let me get these notes out of here because it's been so many years since I've seen this show. I need help. Okay. So Ron Glass, his character. Oh, that's funny. They didn't even. Oh, yeah, here it is. He plays first grade detective, and isn't that funny? They don't have his name on here. That is really strange.
Pardon my allergies, folks, but I'm having another allergy attack today. I just hope I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, that's okay. We'll just wing this episode here.
I hope I can make it to the George Winston concert. I'm not trying to change the subject.
Okay, let's talk about Winston for a second. When is that concert?
That is going to be on the 27th at the Wilma.
At this month?
Yes. Yes, George Winston is coming to town. I already bought the tickets, and they're irrefundable, but I hope I can make it. For those of you who don't know, he's a beautiful piano player that kind of plays just his own beautiful compositions.
Right, I'm not familiar with it.
I didn't care much for his earlier work, but his later work, like my favorite album is the Summer one, and some others, and I hope I can make it, because I don't want to have allergies, attacks, and have people think I'm sick, you know, because it's in the evening. I hope it all works well.
Let's believe the Lord that you'll be all right.
So I love George Winston, So George Winston, if you're watching this, if I couldn't make it, it's because of allergies or something.
Well, if he ever sees this, and he might see this episode, I'm sure he'll appreciate your kind words. He is quite the pianist. I've seen him on television.
Oh, he's wonderful. Same here. Wonderful.
He is. Okay, let's start over here as far as this show here. And I hope you'll get well and go to that concert. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's try this again. The name of the show is called Barney Miller, and this time I have the notes out here. Now, let's make sure all the characters on here. All right, let's try it again. On the far left of your screen, we have Detective Wojo. That's spelled W-O-J-O. His name is Stanley Thaddeus, the character that he plays. And it's Wojo Howitz. Wojo Howitz is how that's pronounced. But they call him Wojo. So he's a third grade level detective. And then, of course, in the second person in front on your left of your screen, that is Captain Barney Miller.
The one with the mustache?
Yes, that's Captain Miller, and that's played by Hal Linden. He's the captain of the precinct. And then, of course, behind him, Ron Glass, as I stated, his character is Ron Nathan Harris. I'm sorry. Yes, Ron Nathan Harris. And he is a first grade detective.
I wonder what the difference is between third grade and...
Probably rank like the military.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Now, the actor second to the right of your screen, his name was Abe Vigoda, and he plays Fish. And he is also detective in the series. You know, and let me see if they have his... No, he's a sergeant. I'm sorry, he's not a detective. He is the senior detective, but he's a sergeant.
Oh, yeah.
Philip K. Fish. But they just call him Fish. And finally, actor Jack Sue, Japanese actor. And he plays Nick Yamana. Nick Yamana. And he is a surreal He's a surreal, philosophical, wisecracking detective.
Well, now that is interesting, because you know I love surrealism.
Yeah, they call it surrealistically. I can't pronounce that, but he's surreal humor.
Oh, fascinating.
So,
well, maybe I should have watched it.
Yeah, but anyway, he was one of the funniest characters on the show. And what was funny about this show, talking about surreal jokes.
Did he tell jokes about the washing machine?
No,
oh.
But where the joke on this show was is he made extremely bad coffee.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking really bad. It was like thick, like tar. Yes. You know,
yes.
Kind of like you remember Green Acres when we were on the set of Green Acres?
Yep.
Well, Lisa used to make her husband coffee in the morning. It was like thick like tar, like chocolate. That's kind of what Sue's character, Jack Sue's character, he made real bad coffee. Yeah. And he was known for poor filing on his paperwork. And it was and he did a lot of wisecracking humor, you know, about life, surrealism. So I just thought that piece of trivia would interest you.
Oh, it does, yeah.
So those are the characters, and of course, as these series went on, they had more people on shows. But this is like the original cast of this show here. Now, this show aired for let's see, 8 seasons. It was on for 8 seasons.
That means 8 years.
That's correct. It was a very, very funny show. And what was interesting, you know, it wasn't like Law and Order where they necessarily, when they went out in the street and they showed everything, because like in this show here, when the detectives went out, you never actually saw where they went. They just went out because the premise of the show, it was based on what was going on in the precinct, in the police headquarters. So when they went out on a job, you didn't see the main characters. They just showed them coming back from the job, like putting someone under arrest or something. They didn't like go out on location and stuff.
Interesting.
And so it was comedy. It was clean comedy. Yeah. But it was a big hit.
I did not know that, huh?
Yes, this show was such a hit. In fact, according to my notes here, let's see if they have it here. This show got the Peabody Award. That's how popular this show was. It got a Peabody Award.
What is the difference between a Peabody Award and an Emmy Award?
Well, the Peabody Award is it'd be like it's like the top award, the award of awards is the way to describe that. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
So, and let's talk about Hal Linden for a second. Now, you won't know him, but see, Hal Linden came up in a time during the big band era. Yeah. He was a clarinet player, which for, you know, trivia buffs.
Oh, yeah.
And he was going to be a big band leader like Harry Jones, Glenn Miller, Artie Shaw. Yeah. But in Linden's case, he wound up going into acting. And it worked for him.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and I'm just improvising some of these notes here, he landed the role of Barney Miller in 1974. It was an ABC comedy, police comedy. And it just dealt with him dealing with his detectives in the precinct, like I stated. That's why it was so comical, because it for the whole half hour the show was on, it was basically just whatever went on in the precinct. Yeah. And stuff like that. And he was quite the accomplished clarinet player.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think that for acting, it worked for him.
Yeah. Did he ever try to apply for the Lawrence Welk show or anything like that? Or did he know Lawrence Welk? I wonder.
That I couldn't tell you, but he was very skilled with the clarinet. He was very good.
Because if I was, wait, it's in New York City, so it was filmed in New York, or?
Well, it may have been filmed in New York in real life, but it portrays them being in New York in Greenwich Village in the 12th precinct.
I see.
12th precinct.
If I were, like I said, an accomplished clarinet player, and I was in 1975 living at that time, I would want to apply for the Lawrence Welk show. Can you imagine getting that gig? Wow. That'd be a big honor for me.
Well, you know, if you did land on Lawrence Welk show, you were pretty fortunate as a
Oh,
musician
yeah, you
because
were.
you got steady work, like Myron Florence.
Oh, yeah.
He did that gig for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's steady work for a musician, you know, it really is.
Didn't he pass away?
Myron Florence?
Yeah.
We lost him.
Yeah, yeah.
That, just about that whole generation of the Lawrence Welk show is gone now.
Yeah. I guess the only thing with me, I mean, let's see, I think either it was a television special they did, or maybe it was the book 1 and 2 of My Life from a Musical Family, or I can't remember where, but he was a Roman Catholic like myself, but not only did he not drink, and Catholics are allowed to drink, he would ask you, if he was interviewing you, do you drink? And I would say, as a Catholic, I do like to drink in moderation, and I probably wouldn't have gotten the job. It's kind of odd, but he just wanted all of his players, I think, to be teetotalers. So I don't really know.
I kind of
odd.
The squeaky clean image, you know.
Oh,
so on,
he was one of his first champagne ladies. I saw this on one of the Music Choice channels.
Okay.
Lawrence Welk fired her because her gown was just a little too short, just a little like to the ankles or something.
Wow.
So they're like, this is too short. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. You know, that's strict. I don't mind those standards. I mean, I don't mind that at all. But
okay, yeah. Well, some people are very strict, but they produce good work.
Oh, they do. They do.
They're strict, you know.
But I don't think I would have been hired. You know, I don't know. You know, it's kind of odd, but no commandment in the Catholic Church saying you have to drink, but it's certainly open. As long as it's in moderation, we believe it's not a sin. But if it's alcohol,
I don't think it's sin either.
Nope.
Now, some people may disagree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in the Christian world, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I can understand why they're concerned, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, if somebody gets hooked.
Yeah, on the alcohol, yeah, definitely. That's bad, yeah. I just love the taste of the alcohol. I love the taste. Like, I cannot stand... Oh, if you'd rather talk about the television show...
No, we can't. Go ahead.
And I cannot stand the taste of Miller Genuine Draft or Coors. If the only beer was that, and the only wine was like dry Cabernet, which I don't like, I'd have to stop drinking cold. No more alcohol.
Okay.
I think what I would do is have a bottle of cheap Cabernet, the dry stuff, and I hate, and mix it in with orange juice. Last bottle, because I drink for the taste. If it tastes bad, I won't drink it. But if it tastes good, I enjoy it.
I see.
It's just that simple. Either that or I'd have to go with brandy occasionally, but otherwise, my drinking days as far as beer and wine would be done. Finito. I like sweet wines and strong beers like European beers.
Oh, yeah.
Or microbrews that taste good. Something with taste. Coors and Miller has no taste at all. Tastes like a tiny bit of like refreshed cola with a bunch of water. It's like, yeah, come on.
I see.
There's no point to it. No point to it. And the dry stuff I don't like. I like sweet wine. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
A lot of people drink just for the effect, even if the taste is terrible. That's bad. That's
well, I
to me.
I think it's an individual conviction. You know,
it is.
I'm not here to tell someone whether they should drink or not, but
yeah.
But I think that's an individual thing.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
But I personally don't drink.
That's good. That's good.
You know, a lot of people drink like wine with their dinner. You know, like Italian people and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily wrong. You know.
Oh, I love wine with Italian food.
Yeah.
Not plugging products, but you know,
no,
I do love Chiomambo. That was a wonderful place, and they had the wonderful wine. I love their food. Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm. Now let's get back to this show here. As I stated, Jack Sue's character, the Japanese actor on the right ear screen, was the surrealist of the show.
Yeah.
He was one of the funniest characters of the show too. One of the funniest. In fact, I think he's one of the reasons that show lasted as long as it did, because of his surrealism.
Fascinating.
And stuff like that. But I know you've never seen this show, but if you watch this character, he was really funny. It's a funny character. And it's amazing that they could think of a cop show that would be comical. But this one was, and it worked. I'm trying to see if I have the information on the other accomplishments of this show.
I wondered then, if you like surrealism, did you ever hear, it was in the 70s, a television show called Ernie Kovacs?
Yes, I have.
I liked that show as a kid. It was surreal humor, and I thought it was funny.
Well, I think Sue's character did that too, in a police way, you know, with the people at the station and everything.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jack Sue for a moment. You won't know him. He was born 1917. Can you believe that?
Whoa.
Born 1917, and during the World War II, when doing the internment, which was a terrible thing that the United States did to the Japanese people. So Jack Sue would entertain the people in the internments.
Interesting, yeah.
And then, of course, when the war ended, he started doing stand-up comedy in real life. And from there, he broke into television.
Interesting.
He started doing movies first. He did a musical called Flower Drum Song, if I'm reading that correctly. But it was a hit. It was like an Asian Broadway play. And of course, he went on to do other television shows, and when he landed Barney Miller, that was probably his biggest accomplishment as far as television. So I just wanted to share that bit of trivia with you, but he was one of the funniest characters on that show, one of the main characters, and I think because of the surrealism, humor, and the jokes, and his personality on the show, the character that he played with the surrealism. So, and then getting to Hal Linden, as I stated, he was a professional clarinetist, a very accomplished clarinetist. Now it says right here that he won a Tony Award for a play called The Rothschilds. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not.
Nope.
Also, he earned 7 Primetime Emmy Awards and 3 Golden Globe Award nominations for Barney Miller. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible there. So, that's just quite an accomplishment for a comedy police show, because when you think of police shows, you don't think of comedy.
No.
You think of Law and Order, you think of Hill Street Blues, they're all really serious. And so then Barney Miller comes along and just sweeps in the awards for its comedy.
I didn't even know Hill Street Blues was a cop show. Never watched that one either.
Yeah, I'll play the theme for you. You recognize it?
Oh yeah. For some reason I thought it was a comedy about something else or something.
Oh. Let me play it.
The spinning dryer, spinning dryer.
And the conclusion.
Wasn't that in the 70s too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's the theme to Hill Street Blues. That's the theme to Hill Street Blues. That show was very popular in its time too, Hill Street Blues. And of course Law and Order has been on for what, 20 years? Something like that. Let's do Law and Order.
That's the only cop show I do like is Law and Order SVU.
Let me play that for you.
And the reason is because it talks about issues nobody else is talking about. Schizophrenia, sexual abuse of children, mental illness, alcoholism, drug addiction, and some really rough stuff and politically incorrect stuff that nobody else will touch, and they do it in a very good way. I mean, and the acting is first rate. It's fantastic acting. I can relate to Elliot's character, Elliot Stabler, because he's a Roman Catholic. And I think, isn't that shot live in, not live in New York, but isn't that shot in New York or something? Or
probably, I would imagine.
Because it's in New York City.
So that was the thing that.
Yeah, but that's a good show.
Yeah, even after Elliot left the show, I still watched it.
Oh, same here.
It just changed, obviously, but it's going strong. In fact, I was watching Law and Order just last night.
Wow, I keep forgetting to watch it. It's on USA, and especially when I have a Law and Order.
Well, it was on NBC, just plain old NBC last night.
Wow.
And this was kind of creepy, what it was really about. But like you were saying about hitting those raw topics, basically, this guy, I guess he had like some mental illness issues and some psychotic issues.
Yeah.
He was in love with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about love,
Wow,
which was kind of creepy, you know? And of course his mom didn't feel that way. She was like this movie star, real big movie star, but she was retired, and the son was trying to protect his mother because he loved his mother, but he didn't. The people didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he was protecting her from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
See, when the reality is he was in love with her, and it was so creepy because with his psychotic issues and mental health issues, he started committing rape with seniors. You know, people like in their 70s and older. So, and Hal Linden, Barney Miller happened to be on that episode last night.
Oh, interesting.
But he was a good guy. Linden's character, one of the seniors that was in a retirement home, she was like 80, 70 or 80 or whatever. But she still remembered the rape.
Yeah.
She didn't remember Hal Linden, you know, because Hal Linden loved her when she was young.
Yeah.
And so when he goes to get acquainted with her, because of the rape and everything, that's all she was thinking. She didn't know who Hal Linden was anymore. But getting back to this creepy guy that loved his mom, he was the guy that was like an orderly in a hospital, and, you know, a retirement home, and he would be molesting these seniors, really old people, because he loved his mother.
Amazing.
So it was really creepy. And so when the detectives, you know, there's no statute of limits on rape, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So they had to go, the young detectives had to go to the retirement homes and talk to these people in their 70s and 80s and try to get them to remember.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the, two of the older ladies really remembered the molestation from that young guy that loved his mother. So finally, when the police catch this guy, they arrest him at home. And it was creepy because he's like, Mom, I loved you. How come you couldn't love me back? And that's what was causing him to commit the rape, because he loved his mom, and his mom, of course, is not going to love him. It's his mother, you know? So that's like sick, you know? It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But see, where I'm going with this is that's what I like about Law and Order. It hits those topics that...
Exactly.
And just makes you like, holy cow, that can happen for real.
Absolutely, and it often does. And they've even done headlines straight from the news, like they did one about Michael Jackson, whether you believed he was innocent or not. I believe he was innocent.
Right.
But they did a symbol of Michael Jackson, and they've done even stuff about racial issues and that kind of thing. It's brilliant. I miss Dr. Wong. He left the show, but whoever was after... I miss Dr. John Wong was an excellent psychiatrist. He was a psychiatrist, Dr. Wong, and very, very good and very intelligent and very...
but, you know, like I stated, when some of these people that are on the show from the past leave, they have to continue the writing.
I know.
And I think in the case of Law and Order SVU, they've done some brilliant writing.
Oh, they have.
You know, even when the characters are gone that you are familiar with. Olivia Benson is now a captain, I believe.
Yeah, she is,
Like Hal Linden's
character. Yeah. You know, it's interesting, you know, there was one Law and Order, there have been a few Law and Order episodes I didn't like that were boring. Like one of Law and Order SVU, they were running on empty. It was where there was some sort of murder in a wealthy family over family jewels and crystals and diamonds, and we had to figure out who done it. I just turned it off. I thought, this is so formulaic, it's probably going to be the butler. I just thought, well, this is not for me.
Well, I don't know that episode. You know, that show's been on for 20 years. You've got so many episodes. But see, the difference between Law and Order and Barney Miller is they're like two different in the spectrum of things. And just like Law and Order is very successful, Barney Miller was also very, very successful. In fact, it's been said that, it's been said that the police in real life, you know, they're not really fans of cop shows. But in the case of Barney Miller, the police were watching Barney Miller, and they thought it was very realistic. And in fact, some police state that Barney Miller is the most realistic show in the history of television in the eyes of the police.
Interesting.
And I think there's some truth in that, not because it was intense like Law and Order, but because the comedy focused on the squad room, like I mentioned, what went on in the squad room. And I think that's why the police can relate to that and the characters of that time period. The police of that time period. And you just have to watch an episode of Barney Miller. and catch Jack Sue in action.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, they're like I said, they're just two different.
Yeah.
You know, contrast, Barney Miller and SVU.
Oh yeah.
But I do like SVU because it is very realistic.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that some people may have trouble with Law and Order SVU, they can't relate to it.
Yeah.
If there's somebody that came up in a good upbringing, they're not going to necessarily relate to that show.
Yeah.
But if you grew up, like, say, in a rough neighborhood,
exactly,
or you had some abuse issues growing up,
exactly,
you're going to be able to relate to that. And that's why I like that show. I can relate to
the same here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Law and Order, just some of the stuff I went through in childhood. So that's why I watch that.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me.
Yeah.
Where I came from, it keeps your street smarts in your head. If you know what I'm talking about, to prevent something from happening to you in the future.
Exactly.
That makes any sense.
Oh, it does, yeah.
So, wow, half hour's gone by already. You haven't coughed too much.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But see, that's why I watch that show.
I love it,
It keeps my street smarts, they call it.
Yeah. And it's not politically correct. They don't butter it up or make it politically correct.
No.
Nothing. It is
raw.
Yeah, it is.
Raw and pretty.
That's why I love it.
But I have to admit, last night's episode was hard for me to watch.
Oh yeah.
That seniors in the 70s and 80s could be molested.
Yeah, I've heard all that.
They would go kind of insane a little bit, fade in and out of reality. Like one of the ladies that happened to. But when they caught that guy,
oh yeah.
You know, I was so glad that Hal Linden was not the bad guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because my first thought was, oh no, don't tell me they're gonna make Hal Linden a bad guy on this. No, he was a good guy. And the guy, whoever the actor was that played this guy that loved his mom, he just had that creepy, crazy look. But you know, he's an actor.
Oh yeah,
they're supposed.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like you've said many times, just because you play a bad guy or a serial rapist on Law and Order SVU doesn't mean you're that way in real life.
Right. You could be like on your knees in the morning.
Yeah.
And then on television, TV land, committing the most heinous crime.
Exactly. You
know?
They did a kind of a similar one. I didn't see the episode last night, but it reminds me of the episode, I can't remember what it was called, but it was called a serial rapist called RDK, Rape, Dismember, Kill, or Rape, Torture, Kill, or TK, or something like this. Anyway, RTK or something. And he was kind of like the puzzle master. He was kind of like the Riddler on Batman. He always left clues after he raped and killed these women for the police to find, and finally they caught him, this horrible man. It's like, oh, well, as far as my other victim, she's a little buried at the moment, because she had buried her. So they interviewed him, and it was issues with his mother. It was mother issues.
That's
she
usually
was
how it is in those kind of shows. That, you know, the relationship they have with their mom.
Yes, exactly.
Now, in real life, that doesn't excuse that behavior.
Right, I agree, yeah.
But from a psychological point of view,
yeah, exactly.
I think I can understand why they do it. It doesn't excuse the behavior.
Right. But it was a gritty episode and very well acted.
Yeah, they just have these episodes on Law and Order that deal with the psychotic,
mentally ill.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of mental
illness
going around.
There is.
You would be surprised.
Yeah, I've met many mentally ill people. Yeah.
Oh no, seriously. I don't know if it's in our drinking water or the food or
or maybe the stress or something. Yeah, I know.
And you know, I'm not making light of that because I've known a lot of. I mean, we have that even in my immediate family.
Oh yeah.
And it's just amazing how people struggle with that.
Oh yeah.
I'll take some more of that secret ingredient if we got it.
Yeah, well, we do.
And it's absolutely amazing that people struggle with that.
Yeah.
So I'm not making light of that.
Oh, definitely.
Thanks. But it's just sad.
Yeah, it is.
I wish I could just wave a magic wand and there'd be no mental illness.
Same here. Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And another thing too, when people have mental health issues, you can't scream your way into their head when you're trying to get a point across.
You can't. No.
You can't. It's like their personality is just such. They need special care.
They do.
They do things a certain way. They think a certain way, and you cannot change that or alter that.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's just sad.
Yeah.
And you know, mental illness is all walks of life.
It is, yeah.
It gets the young,
the old,
the in between.
Exactly, yeah.
It gets children, teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. Schizophrenia and bipolar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the manic, the
manic depression,
like Mania 1 and Mania 2. Oh, my goodness. I could just go on and on.
Oh, same here, yeah.
I know a lot about that because I've dealt with people.
Oh, yeah, same here, yeah.
Known a lot of people in my lifetime that struggle with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just really sad. And that's why I'm glad Hal Linden was not the bad guy, because he played such a good guy on Barney Miller. It'd be kind of hard to see him playing a bad guy. But you have to remember these people are actors.
Oh, yeah.
They can do good guys and turn around and do really bad guys, and, you know, some of them, and stuff like that. But, let's see, what else can I tell you about Hal Linden real quick? He had another show, too. This might interest you. It was an educational show called Animals, 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 and FYI, for your information. They were like these little, like 5-minute snippets, like if you have a little infant baby and you need a break, how do you handle that? You know, those kind of informational things. And it got him 2 Daytime Emmy Awards for FYI. Very interesting. Just these little 5-minute snippets of how to handle circumstances in life and stuff like that. So, just some food for thought. And getting back to Jack Sue, let's see if I can say any other things about him. Oh, this might interest you. Are you familiar with Motown Records?
Yes, I've heard of them, never listened to their music.
Well, Motown was created by a guy named Berry Gordy, and it was primarily African-American artists of the 60s like Smokey Robinson, the Miracles, Temptations, the Four Tops. You may have heard these names.
Oh, yeah.
Diana Ross and the Supremes, the Jackson 5. Now, where I'm going with this is, this may interest you. Jack Sue is the only person, non-African-American person, in the early years of Motown to ever do a recording for Motown. Japanese fella. He did a song, let's see if they've got it mentioned here. It's For Once in My Life. That's the song that Stevie Wonder made famous. For Once in My Life. It went something like this.
I've never really gotten into Motown. I've heard Motown.
Well, what was interesting about Motown was, I think it gave a lot of African-American people chances.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Because, and I don't want to sound negative, it's just in those years it was harder for African-American artists.
Yeah.
And so I think that the Motown...
That is true.
...kind of opened the door. And that's just history. That's a fact, you know?
Yeah. Back when I was living in Tucson, in 6th grade, my bus driver, she was African-American, and back and forth from school, she would put on the Motown station. That's how I got exposed to Motown.
Yeah.
It was all right. I mean, I didn't hate it. But
no, but they had some really interesting songs and interesting groups that came out of those years.
Oh, yeah.
But Jack Sue is one of the rare few, if not only non-African-American person to ever get a song through Motown. And I just find that piece of trivia interesting. So, but Jack Sue was a wonderful actor, Japanese actor. And we lost him at the age of 61 back in 1979.
Yep.
It is way before your time. But Jack Sue left the world some memorable characters and movies that you can check out. The audience can check out. And he was just an amazing performer. And you know, they've not had any comedy cop shows that I'm aware of since Barney Miller.
Yeah.
Now they did have a couple of cop shows in the past prior to Barney Miller that were police shows, but they were so goofy that I don't think anybody took it serious. Like Car 54, Where Are You with Fred Gwynn?
Yeah.
And that's not to pick on that show. It's just that was just a different
Yeah.
time period.
Yeah.
So even though it was a police comedy, it didn't deal with serious issues at all, really.
Yeah.
Or even in a comical way like
Yeah.
Barney Miller did. It was just really off the wall, silly humor, and they just happened to be police officers. But in fairness to Car 54, that was the time period of the comedy too, and so on. And I don't know if they had any other police shows of the past.
Almost sounds like a cop show meets Gilligan's Island or something.
Yeah, it was just really, really cheesy comedy. Whereas Barney Miller was funny, but it dealt with issues, but in a more tasteful,
interesting
way. And they never went on location as far as you seeing them on location like you do Law and Order. You'll see Lieutenant Benson and all those people out on the streets.
Yeah.
Whereas with Barney Miller, the captain would just send the detectives out on a job, but they stayed in the police precinct to the people who were there, and so they would show the police officers that were sent out would come back a few minutes later having arrested whoever the burglar was or something like that. It focused on the precinct, which was different, instead of going out on the street. So just food for thought. And 8 seasons too. 8 seasons, that's an amazing feat for a comedy about the police, you know, stuff like that. And it wasn't that goofy, silly comedy, and stuff like that. So just food for thought. Hal Linden is now 87, and I assume he probably still does concerts or interviews these days. And most of the other characters of the show are either very old now or gone. Let's see, the African-American actor on your screen, Ron Glass, he is gone now. And Jack Sue is gone, isn't he? Kind of right. And then next to him, Abe Vigoda, he is gone now too. So, and there are some other characters on the show that are not in this image here. They're gone too. So pretty much that whole generation is gone. But they left the world some really fun characters. And
kind of like with the Lawrence Welk. Most of that generation, even Norma Simmer is gone.
Yeah, that whole generation is gone. But they left the world some pretty neat characters.
Are Sissy and Bobby, are they still alive or not?
If they are, they have to be pretty old by now. We're talking maybe in their late 70s, early 80s, I would guess. But television was different back in those years.
It was.
It was just different. Now, I don't particularly care for a lot of the shows that are out there today, but I do make an exception with Law and Order.
The same here.
Make an exception with that show.
Yeah.
And you know what?
What?
Oh, 40 minutes have gone by already, so you haven't coughed too much. We can sign off here and make this good if you'd like.
What?
We could either talk a few more minutes or just sign off, whatever you want to do. How's your...
Talk a few more minutes,
Okay.
There is one reality show I do like, and I did Google it up just to see, is this real or not? It's something we haven't talked about.
What's that?
It's on, for your information, it's a channel on cable. It's called Kitchen Nightmares with Chef Ramsay.
I've heard of it.
Boy, that is one gritty show, folks.
Is that cooking show or whatever it is? A cooking show? Is this like a...
No. But there are failing restaurants, and they ask for his help. Like if a restaurant is failing, having bad food, bad service, they come in and ask for his help, and he tastes the food, and often the food is terribly cooked, horrible. The staff is always fighting with each other.
Wow.
And Chef Ramsay always says, "This is a blankety blank. Why are you serving food like this?" Sometimes the kitchen area is a disaster and all awful, and he's had to close a few restaurants. Well, I don't think he's acting. I don't think it's just, what do you call? I don't think it's reality TV that is. I don't think it's reality TV that is faked.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it's real. I'll tell you why. When I was in Oregon visiting relatives, I did go to a restaurant, I can't remember its name even, that was a terrible restaurant. It was like a kitchen nightmare. We're sitting down for breakfast. The food took an hour to get to our tables.
Really?
and it was cold and awful, and I can't even remember. I could barely touch it. Then when I got home, you know, where I was staying, I wasn't feeling well at all.
Okay.
Just not even going to describe it for the other, but I wasn't feeling well. I was able to get rid of the illness pretty fast, but I was not feeling good. Something was wrong with that kitchen. Oh man, we needed Chef Ramsay there.
I see.
So they're rare, but there are restaurants like that. They're very rare, I think, but oh yeah. It's an interesting show.
I've never seen that show, I just know of it. We'll play Chopin while you're talking about cooking.
Yeah.
That's called the Prelude in E minor. And here's the last 3 notes.
Oh.
Last 3 notes there. So, let's see. We're just about almost out of time. This just went by pretty quick. But anyway, to sum this whole cafe up, Barney Miller was a fun show.
Yeah.
And I think that if you get a chance to watch it, or if they ever put it on MeTV or wherever, you might get something out of it.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you see Jack Sue's surrealism throughout the series.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many series he was on, but he was one of the major main characters of the show.
Oh, did you see Battlestar Galactica last Saturday? No, I was in bed asleep. I needed to go to bed, but did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
It was the one about War of the Gods. Remember I told you? Yeah, that's the one they were showing last night. I just wondered if you had gotten a chance to see it.
No, I think I might have went to bed early last Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah,
I was feeling tired. I didn't even watch Land of the Giants either. I just went to bed.
Isn't that on like about 3 o'clock in the morning now?
Yeah, well, it used to be on at midnight. And I loved it at midnight. I don't know why they don't put it back on at midnight.
I know.
But no, I went to bed early last Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
But I liked the Land of the Giants.
Oh, yeah, that was wonderful.
See.
Maybe they ought to have Land of the Washers or Land of the Dryers. Land of the Dryers! Wouldn't that be fascinating? What do you think? Land of the Dryers. Land of the Washers.
Something like that.
Isn't that fascinating? Land of the washing machines.
Something like that.
Would you, if they had a TV program called Land of the Washing Machines, would you watch it?
Probably, I don't know. Well, Jack Sue might. I don't know. I don't know. But let's see. Let's sum this down here. It was just one of a kind. I don't think they'll ever have a comedy police show again like Barney Miller or to that degree. They had a let me think. They had a baseline that went something like this. Let me try it again. Let me try it again.
That's interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna have to use both hands. Let me try it one more time. What do you think of that bass line?
Interesting.
Something like that. Pretty cool bass line.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool bass line there. Let me try that one more time. Never mind. I don't know how to play that, but where I'm going with this is that was quite the show. It really was. It was. It was a one of a kind comedy talk show at this time. Just like I think Law and Order is going to go down in history as a one of a kind of the more serious, like the contrast between Barney Miller and Law and Order SVU, as I mentioned. So
I hope Law and Order. I never watched the Emmy Awards, but I hope it has won something.
Oh gosh, that show's been winning awards up since day one.
You mean Law and Order SVU? Or?
All of them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, all the Law and Orders. Can you name all the Law and Orders that they've had?
Let's see.
The first was the original Law and Order.
Law and Order SVU,
yeah.
Law and Order Crime Scene Investigation, and I can't remember the others.
Criminal Intent.
Yeah.
And then they had oh gosh, I can't. They've had a lot of series based on Law and Order, you know.
I think they even had one, Chicago PD.
That's not really Law and Order.
Oh, okay.
That's a different type of drama.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Chicago Fire, you said Chicago PD?
Yeah.
They had Chicago PD and Chicago Fire. Those are different. They're sort of like Law and Order, but they're not in the Law and Order family. Where I'm going with that, with the Chicago shows, did you notice Chicago Fire was Squad 51? Did you happen to notice that?
No, I never watched either of them.
Well, anyway, that Squad 51 was based on the original emergency TV show with Randolph Mantooth and Julie London. Do you remember the original emergency show?
Wasn't that in the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was on Me TV as well.
That was Squad 51. And so when they did this new Chicago, they call it Squad 51. I just wanted to throw that bit of trivia for people who don't realize that was based on emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went something like this.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Interesting.
Okay. Something like that. You remember that?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to play that, but I'd have to practice that to try to figure that out. But that was quite the show, Emergency.
I remember that,
so the Chicago Fire was Squad 51 was based on that television show. Just some history, just some trivia.
Interesting.
Well, let's wind this down, wind it down. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 202 episode of Asaph Cafe. We're on the set of Barney Miller with Hal Linden, and if Hal Linden ever sees this, I hope he likes the fact that we're trying. I tried to portray it as positive because he was a very positive personality in show business. Very, very positive. Anyway, I am your host, Asaph, and affectionately on my left, our aging rocker, Emmett. You got any final words you want to say, Emmett?
Oh, it's a real joke, yes.
Yeah, Jack Sue will like that, dude.
There were these two washing machines, and they were sticking their tongues out at the refreshed cream soda. It's fascinating, we're drinking refreshed cream soda. So this one dryer came along and said, oh, I can't see around that, so the dryer went to the other side of the room and started screaming about algebraic equations.
That sounds like something Jack Sue would have said, you know?
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, you're sounding better, and I think the Lord answered a prayer just to get
I think so. I just pray that I can still attend the George Winston concert. I would hate to miss it, but you know.
Well, Lord, make it possible for Emmett to go to that George Winston concert.
Yep.
Amen. There we go.
Yep.
Final prayer in the cafe. And I can't think of anything else to say.
Nor can I.
Well, thanks for sitting in, ladies and gentlemen. And so until our next show, Maranatha. Well, make yourself at home and I'll shut everything down.